Yo, we back with another episode of Never Play Yourself. It's your boy P4.
It's the kid, TJ. What it do?
What's good, man? You all right?
I'm good, man. Living good. Thought we was gonna have a longer break than this, but we back.
We
For the
back,
people.
man. You know, you see, we upgraded.
You know, just a little another
Furniture this time. We was looking a little poor.
$1 billion upgrade.
We was looking a little poorish.
I don't look poor, you know. But I feel you though. I get what you're saying.
Oh, okay.
You know
My
what I'm saying?
bad.
I get what you're saying.
Nike handed out them custom T-shirts. They say "freak" on it. Freak ass nigga. So you know, it's all good.
It's all good in the hood.
So you know, yeah, we back, man, and you know, back like we never left. And then we got a special guest in the house. We got Miss Ebony in the house. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up.
The princess is here.
Clap it up. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us. And you know, we have listened to our fans, and yes, we have a woman on the podcast.
Right. Supposedly good. What they say, check us.
Yeah, we had some people say we need somebody y'all to check us. Ooh, y'all need somebody on that. All right. You know,
We're gonna see how it goes.
yeah, we're gonna see how this season. Gonna have some ladies on here so they can check us.
Quote unquote.
Yeah. So man, let's go get this clink in.
Oh, clinking. Yeah.
Hit that, yeah.
Easy money.
Yeah, man. It's good, man. Went down right. Pause. Hey, man. So what we talking about today, man? What we talking about, man? He's still talking up over there, man.
I almost spit my water out. We were talking about child support. Is it for absent fathers or is it just about money?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're talking about today. Thoughts, Eb?
Yeah, so what do you think?
So I'm kicking it off.
Yeah, man, you know, what do you think?
What about my introduction? Was I supposed to say it when you was like, "This is Ebony"?
Yeah, he was.
I didn't know. Look,
It's all good.
I was trying not to mess up the flow.
No,
so
it's all right.
like,
We good.
I'm gonna wait for my cue. So should I go now or should I wait later?
No, you already brought you in. It's Ebony. For people who don't, this is Ebony, our guest.
Go ahead, kick it up. Go ahead, give your intro, give your speech.
My name is Ebony. You can find me on social media on Instagram at eb_cake. That's EB_cake, like birthday cake. Or you can follow my football page, which is Hips No Dip. And so
The
the topic
MVP.
that we're I just contribute the best way I can.
She plays football, y'all.
Yeah, I play flag football. That's how I know this guy.
That's how I know they got too.
I know, right?
Really? News to me.
Yeah, you don't watch the show.
Y'all gonna stop this joke.
We're not gonna assassinate
Oh my
the
God.
guests
My
while they
bad.
on the show, man.
My bad.
So
Oh my
gaslit.
God.
I have watched episodes. I have not watched every single one, so might have missed that one.
We
my bad.
appreciate all your support.
Thank
We appreciate
you.
it.
Appreciate all your
But you
support.
know I'm gonna talk shit the whole time. So.
Sure. It's fine. Let's get into this topic though. So child support.
Yeah, what do you think about it?
I think that it is beneficial for sure when
For?
used the right way for support for the child towards whoever has to pay. There are instances where women do have to pay child support. It is rare, but nevertheless, child support is supposed to help offset the costs of what it takes to raise a child. Again, if used the right way, unfortunately, it's not always used the right way, but no matter what, someone is going to try to use and abuse the system. So I don't think that it's something that should be taken away or something that doesn't matter because of the people who use it the wrong way. That's pretty much how I feel about it.
Mm-hmm. So I know he mentioned, is it for, you know, the absentee father or the one who doesn't do what they're supposed to do? You think this should just only qualify for them?
No, I think it should qualify for everyone because regardless of whether or not you're present in the child's life, it costs money to raise that child. So you
Correct.
should be contributing to the payments
Mm-hmm.
of whatever, whether it's school, it's clothes, it's food, whether it's the roof that they spend most of their time under, however it goes.
Right. So you don't think that during mediation that it should be an option not to have it, or if they've been co-parenting, or if they was a married couple, or they was just a couple, or not even a couple period, and they decided, hey, during mediation, hey, we can co-parent and coexist. Do you think the male should automatically be put on child support, or do you think they should just be able to co-parent the best way they have, or it should just be just best case scenario?
I think it should depend on, what the situation looks like, because I think most people think that because both parents are in a child's life that it's more equal than it actually is.
Right.
So for example, if the father only has the child on the weekend, a lot of the costs is not going to be reflected for the father or whoever has the child on just on the weekend. I mean, like a lot of work when you have the child Monday through Friday, that means that you're probably taking them to school, taking them to their extracurricular activities in the midst of still trying to feed them, and going to work and buying them whatever needs to happen throughout the week. And when you're only doing that on the weekend, then that looks like
The
5
person who
out of
has
7
them,
to 20, 2
Correct.
out of 7. I don't know what the exact percentage
Yeah.
is. So if it's not a hindrance to, or any kind of like hardship for the main provider to have it on their own, I think that they should look at alternatives to payment if it is a hardship for the father. Like, let's say I'm Beyonce. If I'm Beyonce, there's not much you can do for me financially that's gonna make a child's life any better.
Right.
And then if you regular old Joe Smo, like, it's gonna hurt you a lot more to contribute financially to the child. But what else can you do to be there to offset what you're not doing financially?
Right. Right. So why do you think that during because I would say typically most of the women have the child most of the time. Like you said, out of the 7 days, you got the women having them 5 days and the male having them 2. But you do have the dads who want their child more, but the mom doesn't want them to have the child more. Do you think if it was equal balance as far as visitation, let's say they alternated weeks? I mean, I would think that might be some it wouldn't be balanced, I don't think, because you just going back and forth. But to decrease the amount of child support.
That's a possibility. I feel like that could work. I think most of the time, and I could be wrong with this, but I think most of the time you don't alternate weeks because it creates more stability when it's like Monday through Friday, you're at this house. And when you're at this house, you go to school, you catch the school bus. Like, you have a routine at this house for that week where you do have those set things that you have to participate in. And then the weekend, you do whatever you want with your father in your free time. So I think that would be my understanding for like a healthy co-parent. Like, reason why would be I have them through the week and then you have them through the weekend. But if you are alternating weeks and that works for you, I feel like that can be a way to mediate the cost of child support, because now it is equal,
Okay. What
or
about you,
can
T?
be.
What do you got to say, TJ?
I think child support is more for absent fathers than it should be. But I think like a lot of people use it for just money wise. So even if you have like situations where a man has the child or he's picking up the child 3-4 times a week, taking care of him during that time, and having the financial part of it is just sometimes it's always about money at times. But I do think that there are a lot of situations where it is needed because you don't have, in the same sense, men don't Excuse me.
You all right over there?
Barely, but I'm like, I should say, in some sense, you do have situations where the men only have the child on the weekends, and there's a lot of stuff that goes into taking care of a child versus, just having them 2-3 days a week because you have like having a son. There's like costs that come up just throughout the day that you don't expect. You may need to go to the store and get Band-Aids and alcohol or something like that if you don't have that at home. Or, you may have to go, you can't eat this, so you got to go get that, or all different things. I'm about to choke. Excuse me.
Again, you all right over there?
Barely. I told you.
He's struggling. He don't know. Like,
It's a
All right,
touchy,
I'm good. Yeah, I'm
touchy
good.
subject for him.
Nah, it ain't that. I'm good on my end with this.
So I mean, so on the balance, I think there should be just a way to keep it where it's balanced for those who are in the child's life, because I know you can make it balanced when you can just have when there's cooperation involved. So just like you said, you have someone to drop them off at school, this, that, and the other. And I can see dads like, hey, let me pick him up and let me go to the sporting events. He got practice. I can take him here, yada yada. So you're still in the child's life. It's just, hey, Monday through Friday,
He over there, yeah.
he lays his head.
There, yeah,
There.
yeah. And there's like you said, there's balance and there's ways to have it where there's not a need for child support, but it takes so much work and it's co-parenting, and then you have to both have to be willing to give and take. And a lot of times I think men are not willing to do some things, and women, because they're bearing the child, and as far as like parenting goes, and most society looks at like the mom is the primary parent,
Right.
in most situations, and then so you have situations where most of the time it's like, as a man, if you're not doing exactly what the woman wants, as far as paying, as far as picking up, as far as everything, then she's like, oh fuck it, I'm gonna go put you on child support. And
So
it's
it's
like,
almost like you're at her mercy.
yeah, you are, especially in certain situations. Like I'm sure we all know people that have been in those situations, but like, it's just, I think it can be both ways, but unfortunately it's not. And a lot of times it's like held over the man's head. Like, I'll go put you on child support if you don't do what I want you to do. You know what I mean? I've heard stories about that even before I had a son, and definitely have heard stories like that after having a son, and just people having kids and knowing people with kids. It's like, I can't think of the wording that I want, but it's definitely like women definitely hold their child over men's head.
Not all.
And,
Not
no,
all.
no, I'm not all. Not all.
Not all. Let's clarify
I can't
that.
say
Not
all
all.
because we get in trouble for that. You know what I'm saying? I don't say
Be
all.
all of the comments.
you get in trouble because it's not true.
No, it's not. I get it. Like, I don't say all. I like, even when I say all, I don't mean that. So I just like stop saying all.
Yeah.
And like all of those. But it's definitely a lot. Done a lot. Definitely.
So I would say this. Me personally, before I had my son, up until I ain't want no kid. I ain't want no baby mom, but I pray to God I ain't had no baby mom. And it wasn't the fact that I couldn't take care of my kid.
Yeah.
I was gonna do whatever it took to take care of my kid. I just didn't want the whole cloud over my head, like, I ain't need that. I did not need that. I didn't. Nope.
I feel that.
So it was just like, God, please. And plus, I had like very, very early. I had too many of my homeboys had kids early, and then what they was going through from their side. I don't know what the mom was going through, but I just know from their side, their conversations, their phone conversations, their talks, and just break room stuff. And I'm just like, dude, I don't want to be that.
Right.
It's scary me to be like, bro, I don't want no kid. I gotta go do all that.
Facts.
So it's kind of like, well, let me just, chill, because I was like, I don't, nothing looked positive
Yeah.
out of, if I had a kid
Not
that wasn't married
Yeah.
and, it could work.
Yeah.
It was almost like, oh man, I might have to just make this where even though I might not feel
like-
nothing, or
Yeah.
what if this is karma,
And
or
I think a lot of guys try that and end up in worse situations with like trying to stay with somebody and for the kid and like trying to not get put on child support.
yeah,
And like to me, it's like hindering both relationships, like your relationship with the mom and your relationship with the kid, because if it's not somebody you really want to be with, in the end, it's gonna eventually fall apart.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's gonna be worse because then it's gonna, in certain situations, she's gonna feel like you let her on,
right.
and then that's gonna,
Because at the
mess
same
up
time,
your-
her focus changed. So,
Yeah.
Ebony, do y'all talk like that on the opposite side? Like, oh man, I don't want to get pregnant by this guy.
Oh yeah.
Because, what goes through y'all head?
I mean, I can't speak for everyone because some women do just want a child and they're like, I'll have a child with.
Right, I've heard
anybody,
that.
like,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
So that exists, but like me, I don't want kids, so I'm like, I'm trying to dodge left and right. Keep that away from me. Keep the baby juju away from me. I don't want kids, and I definitely don't want kids unless I'm married. I understand the argument that, because the reason why I want to be married first is because of what marriage means to me, which is the commitment that we're going to try to make this work no matter what, as long as we're happy, we're healthy and loving and can make it work, then we're going to do everything in our power to make it work. And so making that commitment to each other, I could see myself bringing a child into the world with my partner, but anything before that, like, I don't want to be in a situation where, I'm, God forbid, have a man who isn't everything that I feel like a father should be, as far as being there for their events, like being there even financially if that is something that needs to happen, being us seeing eye to eye on different things when it comes to raising this child. I don't want to, like, even like one of the relationships I was in, the guy was like super toxic. And I was like, if we had a child together, I would be tied to you for the rest of our lives, which is unhealthy for all parties involved. And that's not something that I want to do.
Right. Yeah, some people don't look at the signs, when they laying down with somebody. I mean, hey, we all done made mistakes out here in these streets.
Yeah, we are.
Be thinking about that, and then it happens, be like, oops.
But that's something we should be thinking about more often, because a lot of times it's just like, you have to think past the moment. Like, I get it, everybody makes mistakes, but, is that moment worth the rest of your life? Because there's also the misconception, like, oh, I'm only tied to you till this child turns 18. You're tied for life.
Right.
Until
for life, for sure.
one of y'all leave, you're tied for life.
Right.
And is this somebody that you want to be tied to? And then even just getting to know the person. Do you know this person and how their parenting style is and how they would be as a parent? Is that something that you agree with? If not, maybe you should make a couple different decisions.
Hey, man, look,
Facts.
it was one of them days,
But is that moment worth life?
It was taking a hint. It was just
Sometimes you don't think about all of that. You're not thinking about
that.
that.
You should. I'm
not
we human
disagreeing.
and we make mistakes. I get it,
for sure.
But Lord have mercy.
Yeah, Lord have mercy.
Well, cool, man. Yeah, so, ladies and gentlemen, all our listeners out there, let us know how y'all feel about the situation. Men, women, y'all tell us how y'all feel about the child support situation. Is it right? Is it wrong? Is it not enough? I'm sure there's somebody's out there. Hey, this is not enough. What the court
Right,
gives
for
is not
sure.
enough. Which is true. Which is
But
true.
okay, speaking on that, on not enough,
Right.
right? So, if you know anything about child support, um, the not enough is not a um, it's not determined by either parent, right? It's determined by the parent who's being put on child support money, basically.
Right.
So it goes based on how much. If you don't have an agreement, right? Let's just say you don't have an agreement, and you go into, um, they put you file child support, you go in or whatever. There's times where like they base the payment off what your check says. So if you work, let's say you work 40 hours a week, right? But you have a check, when you go in, you have a check that you worked 80 hours of overtime plus your 40 hours, right? They will base your child support moving forward
Off of that check?
off that check.
Oh, dear God. No.
So let's just say that check, let's say you make bank. So let's just say that check was $14,000, right? You had a $14,000 check. Your child support monthly would be about $8,000 from that one check. And let's just say you don't make that, like you don't do 80 hours overtime every check. Going forward, if you don't contest it and you just go in there and be like, you can't
Aight,
contest
that's
it,
it? So
and if
now-
you don't know no better, you know what I'm saying, you just go in there and be like, all right, now you're paying $8,000 a month, and you really only make $8,000 a month.
So then you're going to get a second job
Then you got to go get a second job.
to
Then you
make up for
gotta-
that.
to
And
make-
then you can't see your child
Because you got to work so
because
much.
you got to work 2 jobs. And then you ain't never here.
And then you ain't never there.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then you know, and either way, I'm not saying father or
Right.
mom, but most of the time that happens to the dad. So then now it's like, okay, so is it about money or is it about taking care of the child? Ponder on that.
Ponder on that.
I mean, I get what you're saying for sure. And I don't disagree, but money is something very important with taking care of a child.
No, it is. It definitely is important with taking care of a child. In my opinion, I feel like if you lay down with a man or lay down with a woman and you went through a whole 9 months of pregnancy or whatever, and y'all actually have a rapport where y'all can talk to each other on a day-to-day basis, if you choose to, I feel like it should be worked out between the two, because there's so much that can be worked out if you're willing to put your pride aside and put the child first. You know what I mean? And I feel like child support is because somebody, either one, is too prideful to sit down and have a conversation. Sit down and be willing to work things out and not just feel like it's my way or this.
Depending on the situation.
No, it is. It
Yeah.
definitely depends.
So I
on
would
the
say it's situation. You know,
it's everything is situational, and it's all depending on the two people. But I'm just saying, in a perfect world, not in a perfect world, but like if there's no pride,
you would like that to be an option.
yeah. If there's no pride, if there's no pride from either side, and both are willing to do it, I think that would be the best way.
Okay.
I would argue that most people try first, though. That is their first step, trying to see if you guys can be on the same page.
You
I don't know about
that. So
Some just
so
go
when-
straight up there
so-
and then they be like, bro, I'm putting you on.
Yes, some go straight up there and put you on. Some quote unquote try. Like some will say, like this has happened to a couple of my partners that I know. Some will say, "Will the man? They'll go sit down and talk," and she'll say, "Okay, I want this, this, and this, or I'm gonna put you on child support." That's not trying. That's saying, it's my way, or I'm gonna put you on child support. You see what I'm saying? It's not a discussion of, okay, this is what I want, and then a man can say, okay, this is what I can do, or yeah, I can meet you halfway on this or this and this and this. It's like, nah. But that's a view from male perspectives and having male friends that went through that. But that's just my thoughts. But I also have like women I know that are just like, and it's crazy. Like I have women I know that men don't even try to be in the kid's life, and the women just be like, I'm not gonna put them on child support. It's cool. It's whatever.
Yeah,
And it's
I've
it's like,
known
how these niggas that don't even give a fuck that they got kids don't get put on child support, but the niggas that care about their kids and want to be in their kids' life get put on child support. Like that should be, I don't know. Should be
I
awkward to me.
think from just
Every day.
from being around people, the women who say, "Oh, I'm not gonna even worry about it," because either one, they know the type of guy he is, and they know like even if I put him on it,
He ain't gonna pay it.
He ain't gonna pay it. I
Yeah.
gotta go
Yeah.
search the world for it.
Yeah.
This, that, and the other. So it's probably like don't want to go through that headache.
Yeah.
Or I know he crazy, so I know
That's
he
it.
crazy, so I ain't even trying to go through all that. It's reasons behind it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like she swallows it or just compress it and be like, I ain't tripping. I can do this by myself, and he ain't. You know what I'm saying? My son or daughter will know.
Yeah.
The type of dad he is, X, Y, and Z. So
Yeah.
and that stuff matters though.
No,
And I mean, each component does matter.
all of it does, and it's all relevant.
Yeah. So, Ms. Ebony, we appreciate you being on the show.
The princess is here.
Thank you for having me.
Which is good conversation over here. Please let everybody once again where they can find you, follow you, subscribe to, or like, share, whatever.
You can follow me on 2 Instagram pages. My regular personal page, which is eb_cake. That's EB_cake, like birthday cake. And then my football page is hips no dip.
All right, y'all. Y'all heard that. It's Miss Cake and Hips over here.
More or less.
The MVP.
All right.
Okay.
CJ, any last words, brother?
Never play yourself.
Never play yourself. Because somebody's always playing yourself.
Always.
And when it comes down to this child support, stop playing yourself.
Man.
Take care of your kids. Get a job. Go find your community church. Put the Henny down.
Stupid.
Get your life right with God.
And like that,